Well, hey there, Steeler Nation. How y'all doing on a beautiful Saturday night? I am Flip Fisher. I am a staff writer for BehindTheSteelCurtain.com. If you have not been there, run and check it out. Put up some great content there. Really do. The fine gentlemen there do a heck of a job of putting up 6+ articles a day. So that being said, what I'm going to go over tonight is 5 keys to the Steelers' success they will need to beat the Chargers Sunday night on the road. So let's hop right into that right now. The first one, and this is kind of the biggest one, is what I would say is absolutely the biggest one, most crucial. Is Devlin Hodges must limit his mistakes. You know, as I showed you all in the film study last week, or just earlier today, or last night, depending on when you actually saw it, that for the most part, Devlin Hodges looked really doggone good last night. He really did. Or last night. Jeez. Whew. Last week. Yeah, he was 7-9. Could have been, he was picked off once, but it was called back because of a defensive turnover. Or defensive penalty. And for 68 yards. But on his 4 drives that he had, he scored 10 points on them. He took over for Mason Rudolph, who went down. They marched right down the field. Scored. He had another pretty bad pass, which, you know, I also showed in the film study. But it wasn't picked off. No harm was done. And I think that's going to be pretty big tomorrow night against Los Angeles, the Chargers. And Joey Bosa. I believe Bosa has 3 sacks through 5 games. He's going to be putting some pressure on Hodges. It doesn't help Hodges much that we're going to be without James Washington. Possibly without Vance McDonald. I'll tell you, I'm expecting McDonald to play, and I would not be surprised to see him have a good game. Now, for the remainder of the game tomorrow night, you know, I don't know what to expect out of Hodges. I mean, he looked good last week, but it was a small sample size. You know, I liked what I saw out of him in preseason, and I've got a couple of clips of him in preseason as well, where I did some film study on him. I've watched everything I could find on Rudolph after I did a bio on him in May after we signed him. And I was impressed. You know, FCS, all-time leading passer, broke Steve McNair's 20-plus-year-old passing record. That's pretty impressive, I think. Was last week a fluke? An anomaly? I don't know. I don't know what to expect out of him. You know, is Randy Fink there? Is he going to hold back the offense? Is he going to stymie Hodges' ability tomorrow night with a vanilla offense that we've seen so much out of Mason Rudolph so far? I don't know. I hope not. I hope we see what we saw out of the Ravens game last week, where Hodges came in and was throwing some deep passes. I hope we see that. Now, key number 2. The Steelers have to maintain drives. This has been a really recurring theme so far in 2019, is these drives are just stalling out over and over. And it's been frustrating. We've had a lot of gifts from other teams, and we're just seeing minimal results. Field goals. The Mason Rudolph, when he came in the Seattle game, he threw a couple of touchdowns. One of them we started on the 3-yard line. I'm not knocking Rudolph. And I'm not exactly knocking the OC that much. I'm just seeing a lot of vanilla offense. We did the whole silly Wildcat stuff, and we paid the price for that in Baltimore when we tried to do it. Hopefully, Bickner gets creative. Hopefully that happens. And he's going to need to do it against San Diego. Oops. Got to put a quarter in the wrong team name jar there. Wondering when I was going to end up doing that. The Los Angeles Chargers. The Chargers have, it's kind of really misleading with them. The Chargers are 8th in the league in passing. In yardage given up via the pass. But the funny thing is, they are, I'll show you this here in a second. They are one of the worst teams for yards per attempt at 27. They're giving up a 108.5 quarterback rating so far. Now, one thing that's really hurt them has been, they were without their all-star, all-stud safety, Derwin James. So Hodges is going to need to push the ball. This is a defense he can push the ball against, the secondary. But will he? We can't be settling for field goals. Got to be scoring touchdowns. We've had so many opportunities. Look at all the turnovers in Seattle. Not Seattle, San Francisco. Look at all the turnovers. 3 more turnovers against Baltimore. We're just not taking advantage. Last week we walked out of there with 6 points off of those 2 field goals. We were inside the 25 when those drives started. Not going to win any games if you're not going to score touchdowns. A defense can only be on the field for so long. Here's the third key. The defense has to be opportunistic. Has to keep doing what they're doing. Our defense is keeping us in these games right now. Our defense has been solid. And really, it's been building the last few years. We got 12 takeaways. It's tied for first in the NFL. Six interceptions, which is tied for third. I mean, that's crazy. You look back at years past, and it's like the turnovers aren't coming. The INTs aren't coming. Years past, we weren't generating takeaways. And on top of that, we have 19 sacks, which that has been building over the last few years. TJ Watt definitely has helped change that. And that's third best in the NFL. The defense is getting it done. They really are. Some people might knock that defense. But holy smokes, when they're on the field as much as they are, and I'll get to that a little later, the defense can't be on the field as much as they are. It just can't happen. And they are being opportunistic. Now, the problem is, can they be opportunistic against Phillip Rivers? Rivers is not a turnover machine. I believe he has, let's see, he's got 4 interceptions for the year and 7 touchdowns. A little high for Rivers. And I don't know if you can lay those all on his feet. I haven't watched that many. But, he's generally a double-digit interception guy. He had 12 last year, 10 the year before, 21 the year before when he led the league in 2016 for interceptions. But he was also a Pro Bowl quarterback that year. Well, the Chargers, how Rivers goes, they go. And you've seen that last week when the Chargers lost to Denver. Rivers didn't have a touchdown. And here's a little fun fact. The last time Phillip Rivers didn't have back-to-back, was shut out back-to-back weeks with no touchdowns was 2015. I found that pretty stunning. That it's been 3-4 years that actually happened. So the defense needs to keep creating turnovers, keep getting the pressure. We'll see if Devlin Hodges can make something of it. See what happens. All right, moving on to key number 4. Defensive sub-packages will define the game. Boy. We all watched the game last year. 33-30. Big fat loss. Keenan Allen doing what Keenan Allen does. He destroys defenses that try to cover him with a linebacker. He had 14 catches for 148 yards and a touchdown last year. 8 of those 14 catches came while Allen was being covered by a linebacker, L.J. Fort. That's crazy. Every time I think about that game, it just drives me nuts. You know, what was defensive coordinator Keith Butler, what in the world was he doing? What was he thinking? You know, it's going to be interesting to see how they cover Allen this year. They're gonna drop Bush on him. I hope not. You know, I like Devin Bush, but I haven't seen a lot of great coverage out of him. It's getting better. Early on, it was really rough. But I don't want to see Bush on Keenan Allen. My fantasy football team might, but I don't. So who do you put on him? You go with Mike Hilton. He struggled off and on in coverage this year and last. Cameron Sutton, who, you know, Sutton's actually looked pretty good this year in his limited role. Now, I've come away fairly impressed with Sutton. But I don't know if I want him on Keenan Allen. I don't think I do. Going to put Minkah Fitzpatrick on Keenan Allen? Well, you know, I get kind of beat on a little bit because I'm not seeing Minkah in the same light as a lot of the other Steeler fans. You know, I've watched a lot of tape on Minkah playing free safety, both for Miami and the Steelers, and I like what I see. Don't get me wrong. I'm not bashing on Mink. He's just pretty average right now, and I'm fine with average. Perfectly fine with average out of Minkah. That doesn't mean that I want to see him on Keenan Allen either. I guess what I would like to see is some kind of a bracket. Bush underneath. And, you know, Hilton, Minkah up over the top. You know, I don't know. It's going to be a tough call. But I think if we take care of Allen, keep him under 10 catches, that we have a legitimate shot. Problem is, that's easier said than done. Keenan Allen's one of the top wide receivers in the NFL. He's arguably one of the best route runners. So most teams, you know, they try to limit him. And, you know, last year we rolled into that game 7-3-1. And the Chargers rolled in at 8-3. They got it done. They got it done with Keenan Allen. Now the other guy, and this is actually almost just as worrisome, is Austin Eckler. You know, we've seen in the past how it's not easy to cover some of these shifty backs for us. You know, we saw that last year when Vince Williams was on Christian McCaffrey, and McCaffrey just ate him alive. So who gets on Austin Eckler? Austin Eckler just coming off a game in Denver. 15 receptions. Not a typo. That is absolutely not a typo. 15 receptions of 16 targets. 86 scoreless yards. He's got 39 receptions on 41 targets. 11.8 yards per reception. Those are some sick numbers. Just think about that a little bit. Let that sink in. That is a great yards per reception, yards per catch for a running back. Might be a little low for a wide receiver, but that is phenomenal for a running back. And so I worry about how we're going to sub-package him in. If Bush is on, an under-over on Keenan Allen, who's covering Eckler? I don't want J.J. Watt out there. Sorry, TJ Watt. I don't want Dupree on him. Like anybody wants either one of our linebackers. San Diego's line's all beat up without their left tackle, Russell Okung. So that is worrisome. Now, the other thing is Hunter Henry might be healthy enough to play. And he's a game changer. And we've struggled against tight ends. So what do we see tomorrow night? How much base 3-4 do we see? Oh, Chargers have Melvin Gordon back. How much was he missed earlier in the year? When the Chargers, have sputtered to a 2-3 start. They've lost 3 games by 17. It's going to be really interesting to see how Keith Butler comes out and schemes tomorrow. How does he limit these weapons that have been notorious for causing the Steelers headaches? Tight ends causes headaches down the seam. Slippery running backs out of the backfield. And of course, Keenan Allen in the slot. All headaches. All mismatches. All tough. So, however we run the sub-packages, that's going to be critical. Going to be crucial. Not going to be able to stop all these guys. Just got to limit the damage. Now, for the last key here, time of possession. Ooh, I looked this up a few days ago. And I thought it was going to be bad. But I honestly didn't think it was going to be this bad. Against New England, 27.27 minutes. New England, 32.33 minutes. Not much of a surprise because that wasn't much of a game. Seattle, 35 minutes and 46 seconds. Steelers. 24 minutes, 14 seconds. Oof. How are we even in that game? Turnovers. San Francisco. 23 minutes, 43 seconds for us. 36 minutes, 17 seconds for them. That's with them turning over the ball. What, 5 times? Whatever it was. Craziness. Cincinnati, 30.14. Us, 29.46. You gotta remember, that was a pretty close game at half. That's against a bad Cincinnati team. Now let's go for the icing on the cake here. The real kick in the teeth. Baltimore, 39 minutes. Steelers, 25.34 seconds. 25 minutes to 39. That just shows we just cannot sustain drives. It's right back to key number 2. Sustain, maintain drives. Have to do it. Cannot let this huge difference in time of possession. Got to win that time of possession battle. However, which way. Getting that anemic running game going. Getting those crucial third downs. Stop with the dumb penalties. That's backing us up to, third and long. First and long. When you got 3rd and 17, like we saw Sunday against Baltimore, there is no play for 3rd and 17 in the NFL. And that's exactly what the Steelers have to change. Got to change that time of possession. Got to make the most of their drives. They got to be like their defense right now. The defense is opportunistic. They're making the difference. Now it's time for the offense to do that. Now it's time for Devlin Hodges to step up. Can he step up, or is he going to step out? Is he going to be the guy that 32 teams ignored for the draft? 32 teams ignored him after the draft and didn't even sign him as a undrafted rookie free agent? You got to remember, Hodges was nothing. We signed him. We brought him into a rookie mini camp. Signed him. Is he going to be the guy that blows the door off of everybody's expectations? Or is he going to be the kid that kind of flamed out against Florida State his senior college when Samford played them, where he had a pretty rocky game? Which one's it going to be? Is he going to try to do a Gardner Minshew impression? Or is he going to, faceplant like Josh Dobbs did last year against Oakland? I sure hope it's the former. I would love to see if he, love to see him beat everybody's expectations. But he's got a tough road to haul. Went across country. Playing on the road. In his first NFL start. With a great defensive player like Joey Bosa coming after him on every single play. But he's got to help himself out. He can't rely completely and solely on our defense. It's worked for a certain extent in the last 4 weeks. It didn't work good enough going 1-3. So, what do y'all think about the keys of the game that I put up? Well, let me know in the comments section. Oh, add some of your own. What you think are other keys that maybe I did not mention. So, okay there, Steeler Nation. Well, we will definitely be glued to the TVs tomorrow night, seeing how Duck performs in his first NFL start. See if the 1-4 Steelers can beat up on the 2-3 Chargers. See what's going to happen. It's going to be fun. It's going to be entertaining. And I hope a lot of people aren't crying in their beer afterwards. Me, I don't have any expectations with Hodges. Yeah. Am I going to be upset if he throws for 200 yards and no touchdowns and an interception? I don't think he's going to go out there and embarrass himself either. I don't think he's going to have just 200 yards and no touchdowns in it. Will he throw 3 touchdowns and or will he throw 300 yards and 2 or 3 touchdowns? Oh. He's got a great rapport with Juju. But can he keep that up? Especially if the Chargers put more coverage on Juju. Force him to go to Johnson or McDonald or Connor. I'm excited to see him. But I really don't have any expectations. For me, if he throws for 250 and a touchdown, no interceptions, I would consider that a major win. So let me know what you think, what your expectations of him are. In the comments section. Okay, all. Well, I will get out of your hair on a Saturday night. Hope everybody has a great night and enjoys the football tomorrow. I will be doing probably a live stream maybe on Wednesday. I think I want to start getting on a schedule now that I've opened up the channel. Going to have a little bit of fun. Hopefully, we will be celebrating a victory on Wednesday. So, all right, all. We will catch you another time. All right, Steeler Nation. Take care. Laters.